I was just thinking as you're doing this, like, obviously Jonestown's pretty sad. But, it's kind of like there's like at least one little happy part of it, which is that Jim Jones killed himself, too. But think how fucked up it would have been if they walked in there and he's still talking and there's all those fucking dead bodies just surrounding him, but he's giving a sermon to the dead bodies. Damn, that would have been amazing. He just didn't have the guts.
You watched this Wild Wild Country?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Your opinion?
I wish they'd. I thought it was beautiful, like the way they edited it and put it. I thought it was beautiful, but I wish they'd focus more on Osho because I think that like what I love about a good cult documentary is if they put in enough of the cult leader's philosophy that it makes me want to join.
Right.
But not to be one of the people that responds this way to that, but I noticed the same thing, but felt that was the point. Then that was what made it really cool, was that they actually just focused entirely on the relationship between the cult and the townspeople, to the point where if you were an alien, you wouldn't know what a cult was, and you spent the whole time going like, well, why aren't they a cult? These hillbillies that are like so smug and like they keep talking about how they have their own way of doing things, I loved how you would like love them and hate them, like like up and down and up and all around, like and I think that they just very tastefully inserted, like, from the redneck's perspective, like toward the beginning, like that movie that comes out that everyone gets to see, like their naked primal scream therapy or whatever, but it was like, didn't it feel kind of like if they had focused in on this guy who didn't talk for 4 years and stuff, like what that religion was, that then it would invite it would just put you in the shoes of the redneck or the shoes of the convert, like you're saying.
I mean, I keep thinking like kind of what you're saying. Like, I guess it must have been intentional. Maybe they're showing like the thing that happens where the gatekeeper becomes the destination, sort of. They're showing like the gross thing that, like everyone focuses on the Pope, right. Instead of, it's like everyone focuses on the representative of the thing instead of the thing itself. And maybe they wanted to make a point of doing that without saying that's what they were doing. I mean, it was good in the sense that it elicits all of these thoughts and makes you wonder. But maybe I'm just looking for a different documentary, but I could easily just do the research and read Osho stuff.
Yeah. And he's pretty fun. I mean, Cody was a lover of his quotes and stuff, because he would.
What are some of his quotes?
I don't know. He was a fun guy because he had that look, but he would just talk very liberally about sex and stuff.
Right.
But, I found myself too. I was like, wait, pump the brakes and let me get out and smell the roses here. These people just started carrying assault rifles and dressing like the Joker and stuff like that. All these people with their ties and their clean cut beards and they're this like what is this cult? But I think it was good that it was just like, I felt in the end, I was like weeping at the end, because I felt like I had been thrust into the position of God by both these rednecks and these cultists, and like everybody had just swirled around in this tidy bowl of conflict and chasing each other, and that the whole thing was just. I just started crying, and I thank God for that guy, the guy that kind of takes you through the whole thing, the lawyer.
Yeah.
And then he's just like walking with his cane. I just started like bawling my eyes out. I think he's just so. It was like he didn't do anything wrong that entire time. He was a reliable narrator, and he was neither a Sheila loyalist nor a. Trying to abscond with Osho. I mean, he was just like, he represented that kind of like when you read Going Clear, like those Scientologists that are just sort of like, look, I'm getting something out of this. Can we stop with the drama? And that he was a sort of life master. He represented the best that quote unquote cult could accomplish. I think that the reason for its existence was that it made you an effective, happy person that drew people.
It still goes on, you know.
You didn't have to like leave capitalism behind. You didn't have to have all these extreme conversations about like, this world is bullshit. They just fucking built a city in the middle of nowhere. And then I guess what made me start crying was that you could do all that. You could ride that wave without falling off the surfboard like he did, and then it still just ends with you with a gray beard like walking around. Like, you can't surf forever. You can't.
Well, I mean, you gotta. It does happen. But it's for that thing to happen. It takes war. I mean, historically, like if you look at it, it's like to get the big paradigm shift to happen in a serious way. You know, who pulled it off, the Mormons. Like there was conflict with them. They fought them for a while. Like when a thing like that, when a theocracy bubbles up or a new idea bubbles up, quite often it seems like the idea it bubbles up inside of tries to kill it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a contagious idea, they try to. If it's like a threat to the dominant paradigm and it gets big enough, the helicopters show up, the cops show up, the fire marshal shows up.
Yeah.
There's a fantastic like closing thought at the end of that Going Clear book that just sort of without bothering to categorize Scientology as either a good thing or a bad thing, just talking about the history of upstart religion in the United States, and how we want to look at all of these things and go, they either need to live or die, but we coexist with things like Mormonism or Jehovah's Witness-ry, whatever you call it in its noun form. But it's like, and like, these little things, they're not called cults anymore. You could call Mormonism a cult if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But we don't anymore because we went to, like you said, like we jumped them in.